righty, everybody. So exciting today. I'm Laura Rubenstein, your host of WSA TV, and today we are previewing your speaker success training coming up next week because I have with us the wonderful, amazing Jackie Lapin of Speakertunity. She's going to be talking to us today about the importance of your speaking presentation titles. Now, Jackie, you are the founder of Speakertunity, and which is a speaker and leader resource company. So I'd like to know a little bit more about your background and how long you've been doing this.
So it actually started, I had one of the largest sports special events and cable TV PR agencies in America. I wrote 2 books in personal growth. One was the best spiritual book of the year at the International New Age Trade Show. And I realized that my heart lay with the world of the people who are making the world a better place. And so I rebranded my company, Conscious Media Relations, that was about 12 years ago. And I started doing radio podcast tours. And somewhere about 8 or 9 years ago, some of them came to me and they said, "Can you book me for speaking gigs?" And we said, "Well, we don't want to do that, but we know where they are. So why don't we tell you all?" And so that's when we created Speakertunity, the speaker and leader resource company, where we give speakers leads where they can book themselves. We've done the pre-research for it. And in all different platforms, everything from podcasts to summits to live and virtual speaking and conferences and TEDx's. And then we have gone out and built training tools for them on how to get booked. We do their speaker one sheets and all their design for their speaker roll-up banners and slides and all kinds of things. So basically it's one-stop shopping for the speaker and leader. And so that's been my joy. We continue to do the radio podcast tours, but Speakertunity has been the focus of much of my life for the last 8-9 years.
That's awesome. And I love that you clarify it's both speakers and leaders, because so many of us speak, but we don't consider ourselves a speaker, right?
Exactly. This is for anybody that needs to get in front of an audience to grow a business.
Yeah. So your presentation on your class actually next week with Women Speakers Association, which we do every month, we have a speaker success training. You're our featured trainer. You're going to be talking about having irresistible presentation titles. Why is it important to have good titles for your talks?
Well, there's a multiple number of reasons. The first one, you have to have something that's going to attract a booker. If the booker doesn't see that this is in alliance with what they're looking for their audience, they are not going to bring you on board. That's number one. It also sparkles up your speaker one sheet, because if your titles are dull, they know you're dull. But if it's fun and engaging and, thought-provoking, then you're going to be, it's a preview of what you're bringing to the table. But it's also the fact that you need to give them something that's going to entice their audience. Because if you don't help them fill the seats, then why should they book you? So it's got to be something that's appealing to them. So there's a variety of, that's just a few of the reasons why a title is going to be critical to you, but those are the most important.
Those seem really important. And, it also seems like people don't pay much attention to their titles because they're not thinking of how it's impacting the booker and the audience before they even get on stage.
Well, and I think there's a bigger problem. People struggle with it. They can't figure out, how do I write this title? What's going to be interesting, and how does it capture what I'm going to try to do? And so what my attempt is to make it a whole lot easier so that you don't have to sit there staying up nights going, what should I call this thing? And will it get people's attention? We'll solve that problem.
Awesome. That's great. So when people think about their talks and where they talk, which types of talks are most important, or should they be consciously paying attention to their titles?
Well, I think you really have to have a great title for anything you do, whether it's your podcast presentation, whether it's what you're going to offer to a summit host. And it's not one title, it's learning how to build titles in general that get people's attention. It's a skill, it's not a one task. And so the key to it is that it really depends on where you want to get booked. So if your real focus is on local meetings and you really need to get on those doors, well, that's where you really need to make those titles sing. But if you're trying to get on conferences, that's critical, because they're going to be looking at what the topics that you speak to, but many times they're going to say, what presentation are you going to make? And you're going to be competing against a whole lot of people that want those conference stages. When it comes to meetings, venues, and association, the good part about it is they're evergreen, that they're going to have multiple opportunities. And if they don't have one for you this month, they might have one for you in next month or the month after that. Usually people are booking, 3 to 6 months out. But a conference, it's one and done. You got to impress them right off the bat, or, you have lost that opportunity.
I also think if you have a great presentation title you're excited about, it might even inform the content to make that more exciting too.
Well, and your presentation really needs to be built from the back end anyway. What are you trying to offer to this audience? And then, what is the core content that is going to get them to buy? And then the backside of that is, okay, what's a title that's going to get them here because they're missing something? They're in search of something. What is it, the problem that you solve that's going to get them there that you can solve in the outcome of what you're offering them? So the title needs to really speak to what's going on in their lives and their hearts and their minds. And you're going to offer some kind of relief to them.
Awesome. So what will you be covering during the speaker success training? And I know you're calling it 20 easy ways to create irresistible speaking presentation titles. But what will people walk away with?
20 formulas that are going to make it really easy. So I'm going to give you a formula. I'm going to show you 3 samples of how you can deploy that. And then you can take that exact one and go try it out on what you're trying to do. And by the way, you're going to get something at the very end that's going to accumulate all of them. So you can take it home and sit down with whatever project we were working on to title, and you can just go, okay, let me see if this one works. Oh, no, let's try this one. It'll be so handy for you to do in the end.
Wow. Talk about a great resource, right? You can take this and go to the rest of your life and have great presentation titles because you have these formulas. And what I love is it's not 1 or 2 formulas, it's 20. Wow. Thank you for your generosity, first of all. And second of all, I want to ask you, so what advice do you have for speakers who want to get more bookings and for their talk titles?
Well, I think the most important thing is don't sit around waiting for them to show up. If you really want to get booked, then create 3 hours of your time every month in your calendar. Because if you say, I'm going to get to it this week, you never will. So put 3 hours a week in your calendar that you focus on getting your bookings. And whether that's up-leveling your materials, whether that's sending out emails or doing the follow-up, you got to commit the time to it if you're going to get booked. So that's, and if you want to designate it to a VA, and we at Speakertunity have ways to do that, or a team member, you got to commit the time to manage them, to make sure that they're doing the right thing, to answer their questions. And if they get leads, to actually talk to the people that they've got those leads for. So I think those are the most important things. And of course, speaking, finding those gigs is a big headache, and you can always come to us and give you a shortcut for that. But the point is, you got to make it an intention and follow through with that intention.
I love it. I love that piece of advice for sure, because that'll help get you where you want to get. If speaking is a big part of your focus, then I'm going to invite everybody to join us next week at the Speaker Success Training. And where can you find that? speakersuccesstraining.com. You register there. Jackie's going to, you've already given so much here today, but I know there's so much more. Those 20 formulas, for example, you are the ultimate resource for speakers and leaders. So thank you so much. And I want to invite everybody to come May 10th at 11 a.m. Pacific, and it's virtual. And you can go to speakersuccesstraining.com. If you're a Premier member, you've got information about that in your Monday newsletters. And just go back to your newsletters and look for your emails. And we will see you May 10th. I can't wait. Thank you so much, Jackie.
Delighted to be here, Laura. Thank you. And I'll see everybody there.
Okay. Bye for now.